Good afternoon and welcome to Surrey Day. We are here at the Boiler Room and my name is Dom Fraser. I'm the director here and today I am going to be chatting to two local businesses who are going to be telling us a little bit about themselves, their journey and what they love about Guildford and Surrey. So without further ado, I think I should introduce you to our guests today and we'll get the chat going. So, good afternoon to everyone. How is everyone feeling today?
Fine. Thanks.
First time out, or not so much, I guess, because you're both been working. All of you have been working through the pandemic.
Yeah.
So let's start a little bit about Twin Larder. Tell us a little bit about it and your journey to opening it.
Okay. How long have we got?
As long as you like.
Right.
Use it as a therapy session.
Okay. That's all right then. Well, Twin Larder, it's a family business. So I started it. I started as a pop-up and market. Launched it in March 2019, and then we got the shop in Ash in September 2019, just a few months before the pandemic hit. We've been trading all throughout, and we've been lucky to be able to selling essential foods and stuff. So it's a zero waste shop. So you can bring in your own containers and you can just buy as little as much as you need.
Why is zero waste important to you? Why should we be trying to use more zero waste?
For me, my personal journey was really inspired by my twin daughters, hence the Twin Larder. They're 9 now, almost 9. It's just thinking towards the future, really, or what future we'll have, if we don't do something right now. So that's how it sort of came about. So my personal needs, and then actually looking through and asking the community, and I was so surprised of how much need there was. I sent out a survey, and in 24 hours I had about 400 replies, and
wow.
So that was quite overwhelming and quite encouraging. Without that, I probably wouldn't have done and continued with it. So, yeah.
And has the uptake been really positive? I'm assuming from what you've just said, it is. But I noticed we don't have a zero waste shop in Guildford, which it's mad when you think about the size of the town. I'm just giving you a bit of a hint here, but So what's it been like?
It's been such a. It's almost like swimming against the tides, to be honest. Because initially, when I started looking into it, it was more not a known thing. So people thought it was a trend. Oh, what are you trying to do? That sort of thing. But now it's amazing because people come in and they get picked. Like, they say, oh, what are you? And people try and bring the recycling to us and say, actually, we don't do that. And it's someone will come in and they say, oh, actually, I know someone that's really into this, even if they're not interested, just getting them thinking about it. And because a lot of people get intimidated when they come in and they think, oh, actually, yeah, I use paprika. That's just one thing, So we encourage people to just come in and try one thing, and just one small change. That's how it started, really. So.
And what was your journey to setting up the shop within Surrey? Is there a particular reason that you chose the area, or is it because you live in the area and came as a because of, like you said, your twin daughters?
So we live in Ash, and at the time it's it's about 17,000 within Ash Parish population, but we're under Guildford Borough Council. It was really interesting because I'm right in the border of Ash, and Ash is right in the border of Hampshire and Surrey, and I'm often overlooked because people think I'm Hampshire, and then other people think I'm Surrey. So I'm quite glad that you asked me to be, because it's like, no, I'm sorry, I pay my taxes to Surrey. But it was really difficult. I think I've met you before, and Lydia, and I was trying to look for like pop-up places. I did the Guildford Farmers Market for 6 months, and that's how I got into it more. It was really difficult in terms of trying to find premises, and Guildford is very expensive, and for what I was trying to do, it would, I'd need to sell a lot of lentils for me to be able to cover my rents.
Yeah.
So when the opportunity came about and the shop got available in Ash, and I thought, oh my gosh, just like, a few steps from my house, it was a no-brainer. I'd either just grab it and take a chance, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And and that's how we carried on.
Well, I think let's talk about Guildford. We just mentioned about how difficult it is to get an independent business going in Guildford. I'd like to bring in Maxine and Charlie here at this point because you have Growlers and Cans just up the road from us. Tell us a little bit about your journey to bringing Growlers and Cans to Guildford and where it all began, where you are now.
Okay. It was really just, we didn't put too much thought into it. It was a bit of a knee-jerk reaction. We thought there was an opportunity for a genuine craft beer tap room and bottle shop in Guildford. There's nothing like it for quite a few miles around. I think the next closest there's one in Dorking and there's one in Surbiton. So we thought there was an opportunity there. And we just by chance, we found the premises I was actually waiting for my kebab to be made from the next door shop. And I thought, well, that's quite a good place. So then we just approached the landlord, and within 4 or 5 weeks, we sort of signed the contract and realised we needed to sort of organise it and get up and running as fast as possible. So that's really how it all came about. We didn't talk to many friends about it because we thought a lot of people saying you're mad to do that. just don't do it. So we just did it.
And on reflection now, do you think they were right? How have you found? How have you found running a business? Had you run a space like that before?
No. My background, I'm a edible nut trader, so I've imported nuts from around the world and supplied factories and shops and retailers and caterers with that. So actually having a retail outlet myself was new, and Max obviously has come from a completely different background, being a nurse.
Nursing, yeah. So I think I was just getting to a stage in nursing where I felt I just wanted. I wanted to just pull back a bit. I've been nursing since I left school.
Wow.
And so I have, funny enough, over the pandemic, I have been nursing at the Royal Surrey since we've had to obviously curtail things down. But I just felt I needed something new to get my teeth into, and this was it. We'd been to a tap room before, and we thought, God, wouldn't it be great if we could do something like that in Guildford? And we just ran with it. And as Charlie said, we decided not to tell many people because we knew they'd say, don't do it. It has been full on, especially working with your partner. But we've enjoyed the journey. The 2 years have gone really quickly. We've met amazing people, and we've managed to just turn ourselves on a sixpence half the time in terms of listening to our customers. I mean, bear in mind, 2 years before, I hadn't even drunk beer. I was very much a straight wine drinker. And funny enough, I then started learning about IPAs, pale ales, imperials, all these weird terms. And suddenly, I'm the one who's buying the beers and sourcing the breweries and becoming slightly boring, nerdish, when someone shows a hint of interest.
I was going to pick up on, you mentioned that previously you've been nursing.
Yeah.
Any correlation between dealing with patients and dealing with
Oh,
customers?
tons. Absolutely. My nursing skills have just put me in fantastic.
Yeah.
Because, someone said to me, you're providing another type of medicine.
Amazing, brilliant.
Caring. Yeah.
But and also listening again, that sort of environment where people come in and they want to talk about their everyday issues and problems, which I'm used to anyway. But there's a lot of traits that have been passed from nursing onto the bar. Loads. A lot more patience, a lot more tolerance, and also caring, because a lot of the beers we sell, the ABVs are quite high. So we're looking at anything up to 14%. We've had a stout, 14% on there. So it's also watching the customers. And also, we don't want people to get drunk. That's the last thing we want. So we serve a lot smaller portions. So we do 1/3 of a pint, a half, 2/3. The only thing really we should be serving as a pint is a lager, nothing else. So and it's a smaller environment. So you can see your customers, you can keep an eye on who's maybe had that a little bit too much, and maybe step in and say, right, you've had enough.
And would you like to expand a little bit about your sort of sustainability and environmentally, how you're doing your bit? I notice from my notes as well that you invite people to bring in containers that you'll refill. Is that important to you? You know,
Oh
Karla,
yeah, without doubt. We don't have plastic at all, so we don't use plastic. I know there are other places that will allow people to fill up plastic containers with beer to take away. We've never wanted that. So at the start of the first lockdown, we came up with the idea of recycling wine bottles. So we put the shout out there to our lovely customers saying, if you've got any empty wine bottles, please bring them in. And ever since then, we've had thousands of empty wine bottles come back in, which we filled up, and then people take them back. Take them away. So that's worked really well. With regards to, and the only other packaging is sort of still aluminium cans, which people take away, standard recyclable cans.
The kegs?
And the kegs obviously are just kegs, and they just go through the system, get filled, get returned to the brewery, and sort of go back round.
What about the recyclable ones? The plastic kegs?
Yeah, there's been a bit of a trend now. A lot of the craft brewers are using a new style keg, which is called a key keg, which is a recyclable plastic outer with a bladder inside, a bit like a wine box. And the way that works is slightly different to a traditional keg, which has the gas pushed into the beer to push it out. Whereas the gas goes around the outside and and squeezes the bag to push the beer out. So, and they're 100% recyclable, so they just get picked up every week by the local council on the recycling round.
Great.
And that works very well. There's, and I think a lot more breweries will start using them. It was a Dutch idea, but that's definitely growing.
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
I think something I'd like for you both to elaborate on is both businesses being in Surrey have a real sense of community. I know, having been in Growlers and Cans, that you have the Polaroids on the wall, and I know as well that you mentioned there's a strong sense of community. How have you felt about that during the pandemic? Has it been easy to continue that engagement with people? You're very much both firmly rooted within your communities. As we ease out of lockdown, hopefully, as we mentioned before we went live, that it's nice to be able to invite people back in again. But yeah, how have you kind of remained engaged?
We've got a WhatsApp group for some hardcore regulars.
And they're like, Max,
So
I need you.
There's quite a lot of chat on there.
Yeah, a lot of chat. I
Every
post
day.
all the new beers that that are coming, so they got an idea. And also, they message me in all different guises, obviously on social media.
Amazing.
So we've kept a lot of contact there. And weirdly enough, we found new faces as well. A lot of people have moved up from London to Guildford during the pandemic, which was quite surprising. And since we've opened up on the 12th, with loads of people have come in and said, "Oh, just wanted to find you because we've heard about you from this, that, and the other." So, and people just know us. They know that. And also, when we were open, Charlie and I do go around and circulate and socialise and find out if people are okay, how's the beer. how's it going? So we're quite intricate in the way we're not very much behind the bar the whole time. We're
Yeah.
Inclusive. We try to be as inclusive as possible, because when we opened, we've always thought, I think, that it's a bit of an honour that people have chosen to come to our place as opposed to somewhere else. So we feel as if we should, welcome them.
Yeah, that's a lovely sentiment. I think that's really great. And Karla, how have you found the Twin Larder?
Similar things. So we don't really advertise apart from social media mostly and word of mouth. So during the pandemic, the first lockdown, I was like, oh my god, what are we gonna do now? And then we were lucky that we were able to trade, and then the flower thing happened, and then the community was just amazing. Like literally. Whatever, I had to change our system, so I had to build a website almost overnight, and then I was serving mostly from the door, so no one else was coming in. And every time I make a change, or we made a change into the shop or anything like that, people were just amazing. They would just go for it, and just like, yeah, whatever you feel safest to do. Or, so yeah, everyone's just really great, and same. A lot of people have since moved into the area, so we've seen quite a few new faces, and they come in, and then it's mostly again word of mouth. But yeah, without the support of the community, I don't think we would have, we'd still be here. But there is a massive shift of shopping behavior. A lot of people wanting to support local, and going back, to roots, to basics, and literally just they come in, and it was really heartwarming actually. A lot of people came to us, so we reopened the shop again so people can come in, and a lot of people shopped with us for Christmas presents and stuff like that, and they say explicitly, I want to spend my money with you rather than to a corporation or anything like that, which is really touching. So
I think
it's amazing.
Just to touch upon that point, I think it's like you said, people want to have that connectivity, and I think that if anything, the pandemic has shown us that having those kinds of connections with people who are local to you is probably really important. And I guess working in nursing, it's all it's about connection, isn't it? And I think within our communities, businesses like all of ours is actually it's the glue, aren't we? The sort of glue that keep everyone together in different ways.
Absolutely.
And I think looking at our high street and Surrey and our different towns, actually, I hope one thing that we see come out of this is actually more affordable spaces, for people like ourselves to create independent businesses. I noticed the gallery in the town that had your portrait, which is stunning, I have to say. It's great to see that as something different from like the day-to-day kind of, like you said, any high street that you go to in the UK has become homogenized. They all look the same. And actually, I think what the pandemic's shown, that it's the uniqueness that makes us all special. And so I think that's why for us, for Surrey Day, we actually wanted to kind of highlight businesses that we felt, were flying the independent kind of flag, and highlight your resilience and how important you are to our community. I wanted to ask you all, what's the favourite? Do you have a favourite product that you stock, or something that you're like, yes, when you open it or when you see it? And I guess I know you're probably all rotating stock all the time with different new things coming in, but yeah, something special.
Well, as you mentioned, we do rotate our stock the whole time, but it is very nice when you see people recognise something that they've been looking for and suddenly realise that we've got it, and they haven't been able to get it anywhere else. So that's it's just a nice service to be able to offer. We do have quite a lot of quite knowledgeable customers, and they do recommend stuff. And which is good, but just with some of the smaller breweries that we deal with, it's very difficult to get hold of. And especially when everything was open up as normal, they were just because of the nature of the craft brewing industry, they were quite rightly so quite loyal to their local customers initially. So if they're a Manchester brewer, then they would look after their local customers initially, because they're the people who supported them from setup. But lockdown has also meant that there's been opportunities for us to stock beers from breweries that we wouldn't be able to otherwise, because
massively.
Because they've had to find different sales channels.
I mean, there's breweries that are absolutely amazing. We call them like premiership breweries, and you just, I'm not even joking, but you just can't get the stock because they're gone.
They don't.
Wow.
By the time they produce it, you go to get it on trade, they're gone. And so it's been absolutely fantastic that during the last year, I've got stock in that I would never have got in a month of Sundays, and allowed for our customers to try them. So we were so excited. We were absolutely over the moon. Can I just fall back on a point that you mentioned regarding supporting local? I mean, before we did dip in and out of various local, but
Breweries,
but I was thinking more of local independents like Unique Fruits, Ben Darnton. Who else have we? Partisan. We've literally, been purchasing on a weekly basis, whereas before it was very much as and when, very much random. But we've made it our business to support them regularly. Jack the Wild Fish project.
Yeah.
And it makes perfect sense, because then they feel obliged to support you.
I thought you were going to say give a discount.
I almost feel like
it's also quite good business-wise as well.
I was going to say,
it's perfect sense.
Feels like we're kind of going towards a place that maybe there is a group of independents that we're all, that we're all kind of like just a big list or something. That may already exist. I have no idea, but it kind of feels like I hope someone somewhere could put that together, because wouldn't it be great to just know?
Because during that first part of the lockdown, we did the photos.
Yes.
And then Cayenne, that marketing company down the bottom of the road, they set up their little website for Experience Guildford to build on that. So you could go to this like portal and see what independents are still around in Guildford. Hence your photo came about.
Amazing. And your favourite products? You haven't
probably not a product, but something in the shop that I really love. We only got it in January. It's a nut butter machine. So people come in and then we did peanut butter initially, and then I'll just switch it to hazelnut chocolate. And literally that face when they come in, and it's just watching them do it, and it's like, oh, what do I do? Do I need to grind this or whatever? And it's like, no, just press a button, that's it, and it comes out, and they go,
wow.
Yeah, that's my favorite. It's just the enthusiasm, and a lot of people bring in their kids, which is we try to encourage that, really, just to normalize the new way of. It's not really a new way of shopping, because it used to be what it was before. I mean, I'm originally from Philippines, and that's still how we do it in the markets and stuff. So, and then just touching on what you said before about, a different kind of service for when you go to an independent, you've got their full attention. And this is exactly what we do. When people come in, and we find that a lot of them, especially if they're new and they're not sure what to do or what they're even doing in my shop, for example, and we just try and encourage, just be less intimidating for them. So, and a lot of people would say, "Oh gosh, I made a mess," because it's quite a messy thing, doing liquids and stuff and everything. But actually, we encourage it, and I do it as well. I mean, depending on the day. It's just just trying to just get back to basics. So that's it.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing. And actually, I'm going to move on to, because we were going to be running a competition, and I think you've all brought in some goodies.
Yeah.
So do you want to take us through
Right, so.
through those, and we can go over how people can enter the competition.
Right, so I brought a twin larder bag, a reusable bag. A lot of people probably already have a bag anyway.
You can
So-
never have too many
many
reusable
bags,
bags.
exactly.
I have like
Yeah.
loads at home, and then I always now have to have them like in pockets and,
Yes.
and in.
You always leave
coats.
them in Karla. haven't
Yeah, exactly.
you? Yeah, I know.
And I've got a Jed's bottle, actually. They're a Farnham-based company, which is the same as this one. It's in black. So it's reusable.
really nice.
You
That's
can
really
use it
nice,
for
yeah.
hot or cold. So, yeah, that's me.
What we've decided to do is we've got 2 giveaways of gift packs, and what we've done is put some really unusual beers in here. There's a brewery called Wonder Beyond. They're in Manchester. They do milkshake IPAs.
Wow.
This is a I can't even pronounce it. Metropolis. Of gold. It's called Metropolis Gold. It's an imperial milkshake and it's 11%. We've also got a stout here by a brewery called Glass House. And then we've got, I think that's an IPA by Neon Raptor. Charlie's got in here, he's got chocolate and vanilla stout by a brewery in Bristol called Left Handed Giant. Newcastle by the river. This is 8%.
Double IPA.
Double IPA.
Wow.
And then this is just under 5. It's called Purgatory in Paradise by a brewery in Newcastle by Wylam. And they're just
Amazing.
off the scale,
Yeah.
some of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And I have to say, I love the design and the aesthetic of it, of everything. And I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
that's something else about independent businesses,
Yeah,
isn't
yeah.
it? You know, is that you
Attention
can,
to detail.
yeah, that it isn't rolled out nationally.
No.
It's something that you can create yourself and you can change as and when you want
Yeah.
to. And I think to be with a chance of winning these goodies, all you need to do is comment on your favourite indie business. Tell us who or whom or what your favourite indie business is in Surrey. Tell us why. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, and we'll pick out a winner. But I just want to say thank you so much for bringing in these goodies, and
Pleasure.
yeah, and also thank you for talking to me today. I'm going to wrap up and ask you to finish on why you love being in Surrey. Going to put you on the spot. What is it? You know, what do you love about either? It can be Ash, it can be Guildford, it can be Surrey as a whole. It doesn't have to be where your business is. It can be where you live. But as it is Surrey Day, we're celebrating Surrey businesses.
Yeah, no, we chose Surrey because my husband is from Surrey originally, and we used to live abroad, so it was just nowhere else we wanted to be when we came back. Living in Surrey is, well, it's amazing. There's so many things just around during lockdown, and you couldn't, pretty much go anywhere. So many outdoor things that you could do. Like even just in Ash, just ash ranges, and people were like, "Oh, I didn't even realize this was on my doorstep," that sort of thing. So, living in Singapore, where it was 44 kilometers end to end, and bringing up small children, it was the best move that we've done. So, yeah.
And I'm going to give you some extra time to think. If there was something that you could change or improve on, anything that you'd like to see.
I think more support for local businesses because, for us personally, we stock quite a lot of local suppliers, and we actually, and makers as well, and we try and support them as much as we can, and just the support, because that's what I found was lacking in terms of just this. It's less cohesive in compared to other counties, if that makes sense. But there's definitely a shift. So, yeah, that's it. That's just a bit more cohesiveness and just more togetherness. And I think that's pretty much it. That's all good there.
And over
Okay.
to you.
Well, firstly, I think it is a nice place to live, Surrey. We're very fortunate. There are things going on. It's beautiful countryside. It's well connected, which is useful. I think some of the things it does suffer from is its proximity to London in some ways. I think a lot of people do live in Surrey and work in London, so therefore I think some local businesses do miss out on trade from those people because they're spending money in London, which is perfectly natural. But then again, that's also an advantage to be close to London because we do get some of the benefits that a major city offers as well. What else is good about Surrey? I don't know. Well, I'm quite biased. I grew up in Surrey. Yeah, I haven't really thought about living anywhere else, to be honest.
Likewise.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything you say. The outdoor facility, I think, especially during lockdown, we had the outdoor to
I agree.
keep sanity going. I just feel that Guildford could be the epicenter of originality if we had more independence here, as opposed to looking like any old high street. So if we could even push, even for Tunsgate, which a lot of empty buildings are there now, should
Everywhere.
I just feel that if they encouraged more independents to come in, offer them maybe 6 months to a year to get themselves on their feet, maybe pay a third, and see how they fare. Otherwise, we're not gonna move any further.
Absolutely, yeah. If given the chance, I'd love a shop in Guildford.
We'd love for you to have a shop in Guildford. I would personally love you to have a shop in Guildford as well. Let's try and make that happen.
Yeah.
Well, I think unless anyone else has anything to say, I think it would be great if you could signpost people to the store, give the Facebook or any socials address that you'd like to, and I think that we'll say our goodbyes.
Okay. Yeah.
So usual Facebook, turn that around the other way. Yeah. So our place is called Growlers and Cans, which is in the centre of Guildford on Chertsey Street, which is just off North Street, and it's a craft beer taproom and bottle shop, supplying the best craft beers that we can get hold of in various packaging formats to drink in or to take away.
Yeah, so Twin Larder is in Ash, which is in Guildford Road, so almost. And we've got Facebook and Instagram. We also do newsletters. Well, I haven't done it for a while, but it's just off Guildford Road, on the way to either Aldershot or Farnborough. So
Brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, and thank you so much again for joining us, and hopefully
Thank you.
see you for a beer soon and some nut butter.
Absolutely. Yes, I'll see you soon.
Don't forget to enter the competition. I'm going to come back down there and say goodbye to everyone. Yeah, don't forget to enter the competition on our YouTube. Make sure that you check out these independent businesses in Surrey and enter the competition on YouTube, and we'll see you hopefully very, very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.